Well, this film began as an experiment, and Howard, are we going to break this up with the translation? This film began as an experiment. I had known Brett, and I like Bret Easton Ellis's sensibility. It's much colder than mine, but I think it's kind of hip and kind of important. And I was going to do a film that he had written that fell apart.
Donc cette film a commencé comme une expérience. Je connais bien Bret Easton Ellis et j'aime bien sa sensibilité. C'est plus froid que le mien, mais ça m'intéressait de faire quelque chose avec lui. On a commencé sur un autre projet qui a tombé à l'eau.
And so I said to him, Brett, the economics of film are changing. It's now possible for us just to do this. You write it, I'll direct it, we'll pay for it. And we've had a lot of problems with censorship, both of us. We can do anything we want. We can cast anybody we want. We won't need anybody's permission. And let's just tell a story that we want to do together.
Donc je lui ai dit que les enjeux économiques du cinéma ont complètement changé. Allons-y. Toi tu écris, moi je le réalise. Et on n'aura pas de problème de censure, qu'on la connaît tous les deux. On serait libre de faire ce qu'on veut, de choisir des acteurs qu'on veut, et on aura besoin de demander la permission à personne.
And that's how it started. He wrote the script, and we put our own money into it, and then we got money from Kickstarter, and we got people, to work for nothing, and we just sort of did it ourselves. And did a lot of promotion and casting through the internet. And it was an exciting year of exploring a new way to make a film. I don't know if I want to do it again, but it was a very exciting year.
Donc ça a commencé comme ça, on a financé nous-mêmes, on a eu aussi du financement coopératif à travers Kickstarter, et on a fait des promotions, les castings à travers des réseaux sociaux. Et c'était une année extraordinaire, une expérience unique que je ne suis pas sûre de vouloir répéter.
This world in this movie is much more the world of Bret Easton Ellis than myself. And Bret, if you know his books, has a very cold world. It's not necessarily realistic, but it is realistic of a certain zeitgeist and of certain types. In the same way that the lead character, Bateman in American Psycho, is not a realistic character, but he is somehow an important type. And so, that's the kind of film this is. It's about an odd generation that Brett is closer to than I am.
Donc l'univers que vous voyez dans le film est plus près de ceux de Bret Easton Ellis. Si vous connaissez ses romans, c'est un monde qui est froid, qui n'est pas nécessairement réaliste, mais qui démontre réellement des gens qui représentent l'esprit du temps, comme le protagoniste Bateman dans American Psycho. C'est pas nécessairement mon univers, mais ça représente une génération.
I mean, I happen to think this film is more like Bret Ellis than it's like me. Of course, I thought of Marilyn when I was doing this film, not because Lindsay and Marilyn are similar, but because they are both such victims of their emotional lives that they often can't act in their own best interests even when they want to. And it's a kind of scary thing to watch.
Je pense à Marilyn quand je réalisais ce film, pas parce que les deux actrices se ressemblent, mais parce que ce qui leur ressemble, c'est leur inhabilité de gérer leur vie émotionnelle. Et c'était une chose qui était assez terrifiante à regarder.
Yeah, well, I mean, as the character says in the movie, she needed something to do besides shopping and fucking. And so she was making a movie. And that's... I described this film to the actors as a film about kids in their 20s in LA who went to a movie theater and they got there and the theater was closed but they stayed in line because they had nowhere else to go.
Donc, comme disait le caractère dans le film, il fallait trouver quelque chose à faire, sauf faire des magasins et baiser. Donc pourquoi pas faire un film? Et quand je racontais l'histoire aux acteurs, je leur disais c'est comme s'il y avait des gens d'une vingtaine qui allaient au cinéma et qui se retrouvaient là devant la salle qui était fermée, mais ils faisaient la queue quand même.
Yeah, I mean, these are people making movies that really don't care that much about movies, and hooking up that don't care that much about that. And as I said, it's probably more Brett than me. In the U.S., the New York Times reviewer accused Brett of stealing my soul, and but he didn't steal it. I gave it to him.
Donc il s'agit des gens qui font des films sans vraiment s'intéresser, qui font des rencarts sans vraiment être impliqués. Et comme un chroniqueur du New York Times disait, c'est comme si Bret Easton Ellis avait volé mon âme et en fait je vais faire.
About 4 or 5 questions. Movies have been unhooked from the capitalist model, and that has caused a revolution in product. Movies are no longer based on the capitalist paradigm, which they always have been, which is that if you pay for it, we'll make it for you. Now we'll make it for you even if you don't want to see it. So that has changed. The whole notion of film has flooded the market with film. Kickstarter is a work in progress. It's not there yet, but it is something that I think will be part of the future.
Donc l'avenir du cinéma a complètement changé depuis que le cinéma s'est détaché de ce modèle capitaliste. Donc vous voulez voir quelque chose, on va le réaliser. Maintenant on peut réaliser un film sans qu'il y ait de public quelque part. Donc cette idée a complètement changé les choses. Et par rapport à Kickstarter, c'est vrai qu'on peut financer les films différemment maintenant et ça va aussi chambouler le cinéma.
Mostly we cast the actors off the internet with the internet casting websites. The exception was Lindsay, who got interested through a friend, and she was not employable because she cannot be insured. So it was a chance for me to work with her because I wasn't going to pay for insurance anyway. It was a myth at one time that you could merge hardcore sexual material with long-form narrative. I think that is a myth. I don't think it has ever been done. I don't think it ever will be done.
Il y avait un mythe à un moment donné qu'on pouvait mélanger la pornographie et les récits, des longs récits. C'est un mythe, je pense que c'est impossible.
I think they are different parts of the brain. The part of the brain that responds to explicit imagery and the part of the brain that responds to long-form narrative are not really connected, and you can't connect them to the artifice of a film.
À mon avis, ça correspond à deux parties différentes du cerveau. Il y a une partie qui s'agit d'images illicites hardcore et un autre qui réagit au récit. Et on ne peut pas les mettre ensemble.
Yeah, so I think there will never be a successful long-form narrative with explicit sexuality in it because that's not what we want. It's not how our brains work.
À mon avis, il n'y aura jamais un mariage de ce genre qui serait réussi parce qu'on ne le veut pas. Nos cerveaux ne peuvent pas les gérer.
Well, I mean, when you make a film at a micro budget, you basically ask your friends. And so I've checked with a number of my friends who loved the film, and Jeff Gold, and they were busy. And the producer said to his friends at Gus, and said, I think Gus is in town, Gus was doing it. So that's how we got cast. You're paying $100 a day, you can't be too selective.
Quand on fait un film avec un micro-budget, on demande quand même autour de soi. J'avais demandé Willem Dafoe et d'autres qui n'étaient pas disponibles à l'époque. Et Brett a dit, je pense que Gus est là, il pourrait peut-être le faire. Et donc pour $100 par jour, on ne peut pas être trop sélectif. Donc ça, c'était le choix du rôle.
But I think one of the things that I've heard a number of the adaptations of Brett Ellis's novels is when they bring the parents into the movie. Because then the children seem so trivial. And what was smart about this is we never brought the parents in. This is the closest thing we have to bringing in Christian's father.
Ce qui dérange parfois les films, les adaptations de romans de Bret Easton Ellis, c'est quand les parents interviennent. Et ce qui était agréable, c'était qu'avec le rôle de Christian Fant, on n'a pas besoin de cette intervention.
Now, those of you who are literary aficionados probably recognize the painting that was behind James Dean, which is a T.S. Eliot.